Korea's ace, Jun-So, the right-hander who pitches in the KBO with the KT Wiz, making his second appearance in the World Baseball Classic. Pitched a couple of games in 2023, 3 1/3 innings, 2 earned runs. He pitched the first game against Australia, entered the 7th with a 4-2 lead, but hit a batter, allowed a base hit, then a sacrifice bunt. So his second and third, 1 out. He was removed from the game. And then both runners came around to score on a go-ahead 3-run home run as the Aussies upset Korea.
It was unfortunate, but for today, that is all in the past, and he is pretty much an infielder's delight. Ground ball machine, heavy sink, late sink, and in terms of his focus, should be middle of the plate, let the ball run. Sometimes it runs sideways like a two-seamer, just a fader, and sometimes it's a true sinker, which is what he wants. Efficiency candidate, considering Steven. All the rules regarding pitching, he can go deep because he will get some early outs with those ground balls.
What about the defensive alignment behind him? Korea has a couple of Major League Baseball players on this team and several American-born players representing Korea, honoring their motherland and their heritage. One of those in left field, Jemai Jones. Another at third, Shea Whitcomb. Dane Dunning also on the pitching staff. You have Jung-Hoo Lee of the San Francisco Giants wearing the C as the captain and patrolling center field. Haesung Kim of the Dodgers at second base.
Great family history with Lee and Team Korea playing center field. Remembering now that he will be a right fielder for the Giants starting this season.
The DH climbs in, Milan Prokop. 23-year-old. Waiting on the first pitch. Here it is. And it's bounce foul for a strike as is playing ball here in Game 2 of Pool C, which will actually host the first 4 games overall in the World Baseball Classic before any other pool gets going.
Is that great?
Well, we're basically in the future here in Tokyo.
We are.
So.
Very much.
Prokop, Chervinka, and Vavra, the first 3 against Seoul.
As I was talking about movement, you see the catcher park where he was set up, and that ball just ran right over the middle of the plate late, and that dip there, and that's why he hit the top of the baseball right there. Was a batter.
Prokop, again, just 23 years old. He's been playing 6 Extraliga seasons. So that means he debuted at age 17. The 0-2. Broke away, check swing, and he held up fine. So also 6 professional seasons in the KBO, all with the Wiz. Try again. And Prokop not going away.
Although keep an eye on Park behind the plate. Very active. And if he wants something on the ground, he'll actually point his glove up and say, hey, this way. Very, very active out there. Good visuals.
Another 1-2. Prokop with another foul ball.
Here's a pitcher. You got to appreciate that, right? Hey, here's the frame. Here's the zone. You know the zone, but sometimes I want that miss to be way out. That surprised some people because of your movement. But nonetheless, there he is. Gotta like that.
Called strike 3. Prokop thought it was a little high, but ultimately it's David Rackley's opinion that matters most. The home plate umpire rings him up.
That reminds me of somebody you know very well. Oral Hershiser used to do this. Start off the plate, let it come back in. Good framing job there by the already busy Dongwon Park, the catcher.
Now the third baseman, Martin Chervinka, not to be confused with the catcher and leader of this club, and Martin Chervenka. Chervinka to center field, a base hit. The first of the 2026 tournament for Czechia.
That is exactly the approach in talking to their hitting coach, Alexander Gerhardt, that he wants. Hey, middle, and they've actually played a game here in BP yesterday where they had some visuals in the signage and said, just let's keep it right here. Let's play a game and keep every line drive in this direction.
1 on, 1 out in the first for Taron Vavra. Strike 1 to him.
Veteran out of the Jupiter, Florida area. Played Extraliga, played in Europe, played independent baseball. And he throws BP about 100 miles an hour.
On the 0-1, Vavra swings through, strike 2. Vavra, left-handed hitting shortstop, 28 years old, born in Wisconsin. He is the only player on Czechia's roster with MLB experience. In the last tournament, it was Eric Sogard who represented Czechia
and hit over 400.
Broken bat, rolled to second. Kim plies the tag, throws the first, a double play. Haesung Kim gets So out of the jam, and there's another one of those ground balls.
For something?
Yeah.
Unusual message. Code for something?
Sugar.
Maybe spark up.
Crips in the rock.
Sure how you get that from that Hodges.
Bit of sugar, BT.
Okay.
Ever had a hit of sugar?
So, yes.
Up and about. You're
coming at you now, BT.
You're on that diet, so I know there's been no sugar in the diet of lately.
Not on any diet, but I am lacking sugar.
Mackay presents over his head, doubles back, Grundy flew.
So I like Mackay a bit deep.
Along with 38 home runs and 40 stolen bases. And there's some speed on the base pass now after a leadoff walk.
Let's take a look at Korea and their lineup. Haesung Kim makes his way back to this team and proud to represent once again. Nice play to finish off that first inning. But as you can see, there's a nice mix of experienced players, MLB players, and that should add a lot to this ball club.
Now Jamai Jones jumps on the first pitch, lifts it to left, but there to make the catch is Escala. Defensive alignment perfect there for Czechia. This is how it looks. Escala, Kluk, and Breda from left to right in the outfield. Going around the horn, Chervenka behind the dish as Patyshak's battery mate. Mujik at first, Menchik at second, Vavra at short, and Chervenka at the hot corner. 1 on, 1 out, no score in the bottom of the first. Ball one slips away from Patyshak.
There is Martin Chervenka. Well experienced, minor leagues, winter ball. And now he says PitchCom. We took some training starting back in January. PitchCom and the pitch clock.
Patyshak clips the corner for a strike, leveling the count on Jung-Hoo Lee.
He was also telling me, Stephen, about the knee, one knee down. Sometimes he'll do it, sometimes he won't. All part of the new techniques in catching. You see him both knees up.
Lee with a rope to right field. Kim will stop at second. 2 aboard for Korea in this first inning.
2 aboard and 3 very good at bats. Starting with a walk, Jamai Jones lining out to left field. And Jung-Hoo Lee wasting no time. Something up in the zone.
Number 23.
He is one of the finest hitters ever to come through, in a great family history in terms of awards, MVPs, and representing.
Young-Min An, another one of the talented 22-year-olds like Do-Young Kim on second base right now. This is the next wave for Korea. Some trouble brewing for Padishak and Czechia here in the bottom of the first. Jeff Bardo already warming in the Czech bullpen. The 2-0 pitch. That misses upstairs. Now for Padishak, he is Czechia's ace, but he is one of several key talents on this roster for Pavel Khadim, who is coming off an injury. So he is not fully stretched out from that. He's on the board with strike one.
Pavel, Stephen, as you know well, I mean, recited pretty much every single one of those arms that's been hurt for him. Big pieces.
Now, the absolute dream for Czechia was to get Padishak through the order one full time. The Korean lineup is making it tougher for the Czechs to accomplish that mission here in the first. 2 aboard, 1 out, and a 3-1 pitch. That's ball 4, and the bases are now loaded.
My conversation earlier with the catcher, Cervenka, goes, I got to keep his mechanics in line. When he tends to try to throw harder, it gets out of control. Is what you're seeing right now, leaking out too much in that front side.
It's from 14 pitches and only 5 strikes so far. Big swing and a miss, strike 1.
Stephen, we know the struggles, the history, and the recent history for Korea. They need to score and have a big inning immediately.
And the studs for the LG Twins in the KBO. The bases loaded and only 1 out. He was second in the KBO in ribbies with 108 in the 2025 season. Only Lewin Diaz had more than Moon. And this is a big spot for a certified run producer like Moon. Lays off a high fastball.
It's a good job on the play by umpire David Rackley.
Padishak's 2-1. Moon hammers it in the air, right center field. This ball is gone! And grand for Korea. A Moon shot and an early 4-0 lead.
Fly around those bases. That is a humongous lift for that dugout, for an entire country seeing the good start they're off to right now, knowing that there's way more in the tank. This team scored a lot of runs going back to 2023, but just could not pitch the way they're supposed to pitch. And here we go. Impact right off the bat. Exactly what they needed.
That forces Pavel Khadim to go to his bullpen after just 1 out in the bottom of the first. 4-0 Korea leads. A roaring start for Team Korea in its tournament opener. A first inning grand slam, prompting Czechia to bring in Jeff Bardo. Big cut from Shea Whitcomb. We talked about it in the open. Team Korea can mash. This is a lineup that you do not want to see get hot. And with Padishak really struggling to be in the strike zone at all, it really allowed Korea to keyhole things and pick their spots and swings. And Moon, when he swung, did not miss.
In terms of a formula you wanted to see, it played right into their hands. Wheelhouse, hanging breakable. He's thinking middle, but that is some explosive contact right off the get-go.
Pardo gets Whitcomb to strike out swinging. That's out number 2 in the first inning.
Well, you think about it, Stephen. I mean, 2023. Lose a couple of games, win a couple of games, but it's like the waiting for it. When is it going to come? Finally, a couple of blowouts, but even though the numbers say it was very positive on the offensive side, there was never a moment like this one early for them.
Now Ha-Seong Kim, fresh off a World Series ring with the Los Angeles Dodgers. In his second WBC, and it was that first WBC in 2023 in which Kim opened the eyes to scouts, including those of the Dodgers. Really caught the attention of the scouts and brass in LA. Turned down reportedly more money to join the Dodgers, and they have really revamped the swing. So yes, he's been in this tournament before, but it's a totally different swing this time around for Kim. Rolls it to first, picked up by Mujik, and that ends the first inning. But Moon's grand slam has Korea on top. Now Hyung-Jun So working with a 4-0 lead in the second. Starts off Chervenko with a strike. Chervenko to left, hit well, but right at Jahmai Jones, who tracks it down.
Both left fielders, Scala and Jones, doing a good job because there's a bank of lights here that's not easy to read the ball off of. I was back there and watching balls off the bat in BP yesterday, and got to get yourself in a position where you cannot take your eyes, first of all, off the contact point and just anticipate which area. And a nice read there by Jones again.
Now Monik Koop with one out and nobody on. Kloop has some popularity here in the Tokyo Dome because he plays for the Yomiuri Giants franchise. Spent most of last year in the JPEL, the Yomiuri's minor league team. They have a couple games with the big league club, but the season was cut short by an injury. Kloop smacks it to right field on an opposite field single. And the second hit in as many innings for Czechia.
2 hitters this inning, 2 very good contacts. Nicely placed the other way. Hands inside the baseball, wait till it travels. Catcher setting up way outside, meaning that he wants that ball running back, and that's good studying there by Kloop.
Now Martin Mujik. Became a Czechia legend with his go-ahead and game-winning home run in 2023. And that was a pretty similar swing. Ball down the left field side. This one in 2026 hooked foul, but in 2023, in the 9th inning, Czechia down a run, 2 on. Mujik hit a 3-run blast.
Different stands than what we saw back in 2023. A little bit lower with the hands and with the legs. Which he told me today, Steven, allows him to lay off the high fastball, which is beating him a lot against good pitching. Same time, he goes more explosiveness through the zone and a shorter path of the baseball with his new stance.
As a runner on, the 2-1 pitch. Check swing and a pitch upstairs, and it's 3-1 now. There have been some good passes for Czechia in this second inning so far against So.
All about one thing, elevation of pitches. He's got the torpedo ready for him right now in Mujik. Torpedo bat.
And a hitter's count. Not going to swing the bat there. Ball 4 low. And suddenly 2 aboard for Czechia and still only 1 away.
And hitting coach Alexander Durhak told me today too, I'm not going to tell him to do anything differently in terms of moving up in the batter's box, crowding the plate to get the sinker ball, because they have so much to think about right now. I don't want to add one more thing, but to keep it simple and have good at-bats, and so far this inning, it's showing.
Wojtek Minshik takes a strike. 4 games in 2023. He had 3 hits, and all of them went for extra bases, including a home run. We're going to throw back down to second. Floop there in time. Bach trying to catch Floop sleeping a little bit there. Despite that first inning grand slam, if you're Pavel Hadin, you are assuredly pleased with the response you've seen from this lineup the next half inning.
Against a very good pitcher. And it seems like the information was passed along very early after the first inning as to what we should look for as hitters on where the ball ends and where it begins. You pick a spot. If it begins in this area, at this height, you have to let it go.
On a 1-2, Menchik cannot hold up. He goes around and gives So the second out.
Plays right into what I was talking about. There are certain areas in which you have to understand. The ball starts below your knees. Much easier set from here than downstairs, but
Right.
you got to trust yourself to say, if I let it travel a little bit more and if it starts below my knees, at my knees, it's going to be a ball. And there it was.
Now Willie Escala bunts it. So Fields throws. The foot came off the bag, and so Escala gets cheeky, and now Czechia has the bases loaded.
Let them play the game. It's a great job in fielding by getting up the mound by So, but at the same time for Escala batting 8th, it's like, what do I see here? Even though the bunt is not the way he wanted it to end, more toward the third base side, gets the job done.
So
now we're talking scoring position, 2 outs, wide bunt. It's the way they play. And if it brings them back to understand that they don't need to change who they are and how they won the championship and bronzed
in the European Championships.
Yeah, exactly. Don't change it.
You wonder what Max Preda is feeling right now. He is 18 years old, the youngest player on Czechia's roster. Wasn't born until June 2007, more than a year after the first installment of this tournament. 4-0 Korea, but Czechia with the bases loaded. Preda tries to ambush the first pitch, swings over the top of a strike.
And what a moment to be welcomed into this scenario.
Up and away.
Looking for some fluidity in that swing. You see that first swing he took, a little short, almost like tentative.
On a 1-1, Preda holds off. What a take.
Exactly. That's a good take. Again, starts in a certain area, even though it was close. Trust your eyes and your preparation that it's going to be out of the zone.
Preda still in high school on the WBC stage. Swings through, strike 2. And now the count's level. That's the beauty of the WBC. He's 18 years old. Alexei Ramirez for Team Cuba is 44.
Starting shortstop. Again.
On a 2-2, Preda hits a fly ball to left field. Jones backs up and is there to make the catch. And so leaves them loaded and keeps Korea in front. Team Korea's second trip to the plate, bottom of the second, up 4-0 on Czechia as these two teams kick off Pool C in 2026. Out down in the excite seats in foul ground, left and right field.
Helmets all good.
Helmets
Protection.
and a glove.
Yep.
This one will be a fair ball for Park. Down the line into the corner. Picked up by Escala. Park will stand up at second with a leadoff double.
Well, he came out with a plan to swing and swing hard, and unfortunately for Bardo, both pretty much where he's looking. He's going to bail out and open up early. Look at that. That is early open on those hips. And it lands exactly where he's looking and do some damage.
During our open, we discussed Korea's recent history in the WBC. 3 consecutive first-round exits. In 2023, though, they did end pool play on a high note. Bardo's first pitch, a little flare into right field, a base hit for Kim. Stop sign held up for Park at third, and the first 2 are on and at the corners for Korea in the second.
Yeah, Steven, they're on the attack the last couple of games. I mean, as a team back in 2023, they hit 336, 967 OPS, 7 home runs, but they just didn't have this field right now.
They have scored 26 runs the last 6 innings in the WBC as they routed China to complete their 2023 tournament. They have 3 grand slams the last 2 games. First pitch skied high in the air. Down the right field side, foul territory. Mujik can't come up with it. He was trying to feel for the wall. There's that unique setup there with the excite seats.
Yeah, there's an area where you see, well, I have a lot of territory. All of a sudden, it narrows up on you. And the most important thing for a first baseman is know where your right fielder is.
First and third, nobody out. Korea trying to add to the early 4-0 edge. Bardo with a good pitch, a little off the plate, but got strike 2 called in his favor. That one comfortably away. Bardo, 36 years old. Born in Boise, Idaho, back in the States. He is a Czech citizen. That's sliced out of play. His wife and child born in Czechia. Bardo ahead of Do-Hyun Kim. Went straight up the elevator chute. Popped in the air. Mujik backs up, avoids contact with Menchik, his own second baseman, to make the catch.
You were talking about grand slams. Well, you got to set it up first, 2023. Good at bats, hammering some fastballs, breaking balls, and all of a sudden, here they come and it start exploding. That was a good finish.
Final score, that one was 22-2.
Early exit.
Ha-Sung Kim, not with this year's club as he is injured. Tommy Edman not here due to injury. Ground ball to short. That will get a run home. Czech trying to turn 2, and instead the throw goes over the head of Mujik at first base, but Korea adds to its lead.
No matter what, it's going to be a tough play in trying to double up Jahmai Jones. As long as you have to go to your right, come in a little bit more to shortstop, get that feed, you have to take care of out number 1. And fortunately, there's no more damage on the wild throw.
Jones on first, 2 away. Jung-Hoo Lee up for a second time. 1-for-1 with a base hit, came around to score on Moon's grand slam. Korea 5, Czechia nothing. Jahmai Jones running, the throw down to second. Not in time. A stolen base for Jones to get into scoring position.
Definitely, Stephen, a different type of offense. not just basing it on the contacts, but also on the pressure and the speed, athleticism. Something manager really wanted to see more of. He's getting it early.
A 4-pitch walk for Jung-Hoo Lee.
Yeah, you know what? Not the same Bardo that we saw actually here in 2023 against Korea. Came in relief after Lucas Urqualde could not hold it down. And he threw 5 2/3 with 2 hits, 1 earned run. Bardo back then against Korea. Not going this way or that way this time.
Misses upstairs to Hyun-Min An. An, 22 years old, Rookie of the Year for the KT Wiz. Ahead 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes. And you have Moon on deck. He's already got 1 grand slam. He may get an opportunity for another. Bardo gets on the board with strike 1. Good cut from On, but he fouls back strike 2, and now we're full. His KBO ranks at 334 clip. He's not second among rookies. It was second in the entire league as a rookie. He debuted in 2024, but only had a little taste, 16 games. Still eligible for Rookie of the Year, and he won it. Popped up. How about that from Jeff Bardo? Fell behind 3-0, works his way back to get out of the inning. Only 1 run across. It'll be a quick turnaround for Czechia for its 2nd game in Pool C. They have the early one tomorrow against Australia at 12 p.m. local time here in Tokyo. Flare right center field and a leadoff base hit. Prokop, leadoff batter, gets on to begin the 3rd.
A couple of guys doing a good job staying inside that sinker as looped it before after 1 out in the 2nd inning. Let it get to you. It's a little heavy. Got a lot of barrel on that, actually. As the ball travels inside. Good start, another good at bat.
Now Chervinka tries to drop a bunt down, instead bunts it foul for a strike. You know, both Czechia and Korea have 4 hits already, but Korea has the bigger hits and 5 runs more importantly.
And you're facing a guy that does not know what a home run is if you're thinking big inning.
Right. Dong-Jun So keeps the ball on the ground. There have been some good swings, some good contact from Czechia.
He keeps it on the ground, he keeps it in the ballpark. He allowed 6 home runs and 147 in the 3rd innings in 25, and overall 28 home runs in 590 innings in his career.
So do not step up there thinking homer, because he just doesn't give them up. His home run rate in that stretch you mentioned, 590 innings, the best in KBO in that span. I don't think that'll shock anybody after hearing your initial stat.
Well, if you are Czechia, you're thinking at some point it will happen. And because they have a lot of game left, you want base runners, and at times say, think drive and get inside one of those baseballs and let it fly.
Ball 2 in the dirt. Even count on Chervinka.
They've done a better job, Stephen, when they have allowed So to elevate, which is not what he wants to do, obviously.
No. Having a discussion with some of the Czech coaching staff before the game, their biggest bullet point heading into this matchup was just be on time for his fastball.
I mean, just an enviable 56% ground ball ratio. For a guy really never threw hard, but yeah, Tommy John surgery back in 2023, came back as strong as ever.
Trying to keep Pro Cop close to the bag at first. Full count. Clock tried to frame up strike 3, but it was too far off the plate. So up to 38 pitches. The 8th to Cervenka is grounded to short. Kim to Kim. Here's the turn. That's 2.
Infielder's delight. Be ready to catch it. And a good job in closing the gap at shortstop by Kim to Kim, as you mentioned. As that ball slows down, you want to make sure you cut that distance down too.
Second ground ball, double play induced by So in the first 3 innings of this one. You know the saying about pitcher's best friend.
2 for 1.
Vavra was the first double play that ended the first inning. Base is now clear, 2 outs. Ball and a strike. I mentioned that for Czechia, it is only Taran Vavra who has major league experience. Across 3 seasons with the Orioles, 68 total games, just 1 game last year for the O's. Solroa to Hassan Kim. A ground ball gets So through the inning. Still 5-0 Korea. Back for the bottom of the 3rd in the Tokyo Dome. Game 2 for Pool C. Korea 5, Czechia nothing. 4 of those 5 runs because of 1 swing from Bo Young-moon. A grand slam in the first. Grounded to second. Moon retired this time. He's trying to become the 3rd member of Team Korea with a multi-home run game in the World Baseball Classic. The last one to do it, Ha-Sung Kim, 2023, against Czechia.
That was when he was saying, you know what, my swings are not working, trying to be pretty and going the other way and going up the middle. And he just started wailing, swinging as hard as he could, and paid off.
Even though it popped out of the glove of Cervenka, still strike 1 to Shea Whitcomb, who struck out swinging his first trip up there. Whitcomb, a 27-year-old from Thousand Oaks. His college ball at UC San Diego down in La Jolla. And the latest foreign-born player to represent the Korean national team. Didn't go in the check swing, 3 balls and a strike. And it was actually Tommy Edman who helped facilitate Whitcomb joining Team Korea for this tournament. When Tommy Edman was hurt last year for the Dodgers, he was rehabbing in AAA. Shea Whitcomb sought him out. Whitcomb hits one hard to deep left field, and this one is out of here. Second home run of the evening for Korea, which pads its lead, now up by 6.
He was the first batter that Bartle faced when he came in and struck him out. I think the idea is go out there and make an adjustment from what you see before as a hitter. And mainly, how is he pitching to you? What part of the plate are you trying to cover? But also, if he makes a mistake, take your best swing and make them pay.
Wickham is a known home run hitter. 85 home runs in the minors since the start of 2023, the second most in all of affiliated baseball. And Sung Kim with a slow roller and a broken bat to his counterpart at second, and he is retired.
What a great feeling. Know that you hit for power. That's what they have you here. Tommy Edman feeling much better right now too.
Wickham, he wanted the experience. He asked Tommy Edman about it. Tommy put him in touch with the right people, and here he is.
I am telling you, Park should not see another pitch middle in the rest of the tournament.
Fly to left. Escala with plenty of room. Back to the track now, comes back in, and that is the final out of the third inning. But a bomb from Wickham. 6-zip Korea. New pitcher into the ball game for Team Korea, up on Czechia 6-0. Kyung-un Oh no. 41-year-old takes over for So. Final line for Team Korea's starter. 3 scoreless, gave up 4 hits and a walk, struck out 2, threw 42 pitches, 29 strikes.
Yeah, that was the key right there. Keep him in line to not have you use additional rest for him.
Because once you hit 50 pitches, there's a certain amount of rest you have to have. Grounded to third. Won't be a problem for Wickham. He's hit a home run, then he helps record the first out of the 4th inning in the field.
So we have a 41-year-old who will be facing at some point, we hope, an 18-year-old.
Or no, he was a first-round pick of the Doosan Bears all the way back in the 2003 KBO draft. Strike foul back by Kloop. Hoop hits one through the left side, and Monik Hoop is 2 for 2 with a pair of singles.
He's gone up the middle the other way. He pulls this one too. This swing right here is pretty much a product of his body position. Ball speed, pitch in the zone. But look at that nice, fluid, flat swing through the zone. They need to continue to have Stevens solid at bats, mix in a walk here and there, but they also need a big hit.
Not just for momentum, stay in it to help with the run differential, but
belief. Say, hey, we can do this.
Mujik walked his first trip up as Kloop running for second. Swings through a strike, does Mujik, but Kloop is safe and now in scoring position.
Why not? We saw the 2 outbound first and second. Stealing a base, down by 6 run 4th inning. Can't sit and wait and play station to station. Especially when you've done your work and you see how slow he is to the home plate with his movement.
Good work behind the plate by Park to keep that in front of him.
See how they react to the non-sinker type pitcher, who also throws much slower velocity-wise.
Broken bat, but in the air to center and down for a hit. They're going to stop Monik Kloop at third base.
If you hear the sound of the bat, He hits it off the end. He breaks his bat. And as a coach, even that tells you that ball's not going to get to the outfielders quickly. You got to go out there and take a chance, especially knowing who's running. And Hoop the entire time was thinking, it's an easy score. I'm going home. Skrzewicki put on the stop sign, the third base coach.
Brief conversation between those two after the conclusion of that play. Kloop thought he had plenty of time and speed to score. Instead, he stays at third base and it remains 6-0. First and third, one out in the fourth inning. Czechia now out hitting Team Korea.
Go figure. I mean, base runners have been prevalent the first 4 innings. Just looking for that one big swing to get him back in this game. Still early, but not.
Strike 2, grounded foul by Menchik.
And I say but not because the more you think about we have a lot of time, you don't have a lot of time. The time is what you're dealing with right now. Multiple base runners. They have to go out there, maximize and capitalize at the moment.
No 0-2. We'll have to wait another moment. Throws back to first. Mujik safe. Czechia trying to cut into Korea's lead. And Menchik strikes out.
Very similar approach, result the same as we saw from him when he struck out in the second inning. Off speed down in the zone, commits early, not able to hold back.
Now Shea Whitcomb, the third baseman for Korea, creeping closer because Willie Escala is up. In Escala's first plate appearance with 2 outs, he bunted for a base hit. This time he's going to swing the bat in the air to right. It hangs up for on. And Czechia again held off the score sheet.
Where it is, how late it is, how early it is, where it could be a momentum changer, Stephen. And I think not sending a runner there could be a big difference in this ball game. And actually the confidence for this team in Tim Czechia trying to score a run. Here it is. Good secondary lead, soft contact, broken bat. He thinks automatically I'm going to be sent home. And all of a sudden, here come the breaks. And that led to a conversation after the inning to his young coach. Center fielder's not going to waste a throw there, 6-0. Even if he thinks he has a play.
There was a throw and it was offline. Not even. And so it remains just a 0 for the Czech offense. 6-0 Korea, bottom of the fourth inning. Mikhail Kovala, a new pitcher for Czechia. Saw him in 2023. When he was, well, he's still a young pup. He was an even younger pup in 2023. Yes. Has a punch out to begin his outing in 2026.
Big drop and drive type of pitcher. And great run on that fastball. Got some carry, got some ride, and very end, even the four-seamer, Coach Hussey was telling me can have a little cutting action. Nice job, nice finish.
Kovala, 22 years old now. Pitched for Georgia Tech 1 season in 2024. Chippewa College in Florida. The 0-2. This is outside. A pair of talented 22-year-olds facing off here. Kovala for Czechia on the mound. Do Hyun Kim in the batter's box for Korea. Back-to-back punch-outs for Kovala.
They're wondering in Korea dugout, who is this? Easy mentality, stay aggressive, and he's got some nice, smooth spinning movements. Very tight spin. Nice break.
Listed at 6'1", 183. Might be in spikes. It's a foul ball. And so Jahmai Jones was hustling down the line. Will come back.
Spikes before they're worn out.
Yeah. Another one of those arms who came into this WBC on the heels of an injury. Kovala trying to work his way back.
Seems like every single team in this pool has a player or 2 or 3 or 5
Right.
that have been affected because of the injury.
The team that is probably feeling the injuries the most right now is Chinese Taipei, which dropped its opener to Australia earlier this afternoon and lost its captain, Jae-Sean Chen. Was hit on the hand by a pitch. A report came out that it's a fractured finger and he is likely done for the tournament.
That's unfortunate.
They already lost Jonathan Long in a spring training game back in Arizona. 2-1 now for Jahmai Jones.
We saw Chen come out and cheer his teammates with a bag of ice on his hand, but I always say it's very tricky with the hands, but I'm glad they found it early because it could be that with the swelling, sometimes it just doesn't show up on time.
Jones lays off again. Now 3 balls and a strike.
That's a big loss for Chinese Taipei. And the fact is, somebody needs to step up.
Full count now. Jones 0 for 2, did bring in a run his last trip up, grounding into a force out, and then he stole second base. Lukáš Erkeli now getting loose for Czechia. Kovala's payoff is in the dirt, ball 4. Jack O'Loughlin, that was on an 0-2 pitch. And there was a huge turnout from Taiwanese baseball fans. They were not happy seeing that because it's their beloved captain. But certainly no intent from O'Loughlin. Just a really unfortunate scene for Chinese Taipei. On the ground to second. A throw over to first ends the innings. The 2-out walk doesn't mean anything. Another arm out there for Korea. Woo Ju-jung pitches for Hanwha in the KBO. 51 appearances in 2025. Made 2 starts. An ERA of 2.85.
He knows how to limit damage because the walks are high. And sometimes it gets away from him.
Very first pitch out of the bullpen, Plunks Preda.
Yeah, it hurts, but at the same time, you get the leadoff guy on, and you continue to have a pattern of having guys on pretty much every single inning so far.
The designated hitter, Willem Pocock.
Korea up 6-0. Czechia leading 6-5 in the hit category, but all 6 hits have been singles, including one from Prokop, who takes strike 1. Strike 2 painted by Jong. How about some more paint? Strike 3 called.
About what we call effectively wild. And there's a buckler right here. As Torrey Hunter used to say, buckle up, seatbelt. Had the front hip flying open.
Mentioned the ERA for Wu Zhuzheng. How about the strikeout per 9? 13.8 K per 9 last year in the KBO. 82 strikeouts in 53 2/3 innings. He knows how to punch tickets.
And he's a young arm. Bright future.
He's 19 years old. Ahead of Cervenka, 1-2. There was a game last August where Zheng came out of the bullpen for Hanwha against Kiwoom. 2 runners were on, nobody out, and Zheng struck out the next 3 batters on 9 pitches, every single one of them fastballs.
It's heavy. He's got a lot of carry. And on top of that, obviously, velocity.
Cervenka, bloop, and a base hit. Hit number 7 for Czechia, and another base hit, a single.
And another inning, another 5 innings. 3 of them, they've had multiple base runners.
Terran Vavra, first and second, 1 out. Fastball misses way up and way outside.
And as I mentioned, base runners. There has not been a whole lot of hard contact, which is what they're looking for here from an experienced batter.
What do you think of this mound visit for the 19-year-old righty on the mound from Park?
This is good. This is slow him down a little bit. Veteran catcher, very active catcher we've seen from Park pretty much all throughout the night. But this is where you also want to remind him, Steven, don't play as a pitcher with the scoreboard. Mentality right now is a 1-0 game. You have to protect. Do not get complacent.
Vavra flash bunt, pulled it back, and Zheng missed down an in ball 2. The 35-year-old backs up in Park, talking to the 19-year-old reliever on the mound. And they keep things in check with Korea up on the Czechs 6-0. How that, if you're a hitter and you see a ball bounce out of the glove.
I'm trying to figure out how you dropped that strike. What was he trying to do?
On a 2-1, Vavra holds the trigger as Zheng misses again.
Anyways, finish your question. As a hitter, what am I thinking?
Yeah, because you saw Vavra look back like he dropped the ball. How was it a strike? Even though from our vantage point, watching on the broadcast, you're like, oh yeah, it was there. As a hitter, you're probably feeling something else. Vavra lifts a high drive, right field. This ball's got carry. It's gone, and we got a brand new game in the Tokyo Dome. Terran Vavra with a 3-run shot to cut the deficit in half.
That is a tremendous lift, literally, from Vavra to his ball club. Multiple base runners. If he continue to do that at some point, you know you got to run into something. And for Vavra, as I mentioned before, he took the at-bats. He's the experienced guy who's been through this before, the big league level. And the exit velocities. Steven needed to show up. There's a big one.
6-3 in the fifth. A lot of ball game left.
Another ball that when it left the bat, not sure because it was hit so high, but it kept carrying and carrying, and boy, seems like the entire Czechia was blowing for that one. Look how he gets under this. That's your launch angle. Get the bottom part of that baseball elevation.
Big swing and a miss for Cervenka. Ball on 2 strikes. Czechia was 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position, with 0 runs on the board before that swing. A massive swing for Vavra. And Jung bounces back. Bayou strikes out Cervenka. 2 gone in the fifth.
Yeah, he got a little upset. So here it is. You mentioned about the 3 punch-outs, 9 pitches, all fastballs. He's showing us how he did that.
Now Matek Kloop. Remember, he was held up. Thought he was going to come around on a blue base hit. The third base coach, Petr Sabitsky, put up the stop sign. Would have been Czechia's first run, and if he's given a green light, Kloop is, it's a 2-run game. Of course, that is not how it works. You don't know if Kloop comes home to score, if Vavra eventually hits the home run, the butterfly effect, and all those things. But it's hard to not go there if you're a Czech baseball fan watching this game play out.
Absolutely. If you're a fan anywhere. So many times in which you go, well, then the guy got the base hit, and you don't know how he was going to pitch to him. You don't know the sequence. You don't know how the bullpen's going to be utilized. There's so many things that go into just how things line out. But as a fan, you start thinking, yeah, that could have been different. You have every right to think so.
Rolled to short. Good pick at Moon. At first by Moon. Vavra has changed the complexion of this game. It's now 6-3. The Korean lead is 5, 8-3. Starting the 6th inning. 6, 7, and 8 due up for Czechia. Young-Hyun Park. New pitcher replaces Jung. Martin Mujic has reached twice. A base hit and a walk. That means Mujic has already reached as many times tonight as he did in his entire 2023 World Baseball Classic. He had 2 hits and 14 ABs. Of course, one magical moment, that game-winning home run against China. But wants to be more complete and productive in this tournament. Fox hits him down. A swinging strikeout to start the 6th.
Unfortunately for Martin, not that one.
Upcoming schedule here in Pool C. Samurai Japan, the host nation, will kick off its tournament tomorrow night against Chinese Taipei. That is following the early game of Australia and Czechia. How about the Aussies? Things setting up nicely for Australia. You upset the #2 ranked nation in the world in Chinese Taipei. A 3-0 shutout. Travis Bazzana, the #1 overall pick for the Guardians in 2024. He goes deep. And you have 3 pitchers, each put up 3 zeros. and all of them stay below that 50 pitch threshold. So yes, the pitch count limit in the first round is 65. But if you throw fewer than 50, the number of days you are required to rest as a pitcher is only 1, and none of the Aussie pitchers threw more than 49. So they have Czechia tomorrow morning, the early game, and then an off day the next day.
Which adds to how you can manage to which arms do you go with tomorrow with the off day coming to line up again against the next opponents. Great situation to be in pitching wise.
Then Sheik chops it foul. So those who are still learning or remembering the pitching rules, if you do throw 50 plus pitches between 50 and 65, then the days of rest required are 4.
30 plus 1 day. And if you look at even Korea tonight, look at the pitch count. And the pitchers used, so show started with 42. You go 13, 23 from Park.
On a 2-2 pitch, Menchik lays off ball 3. Now conversely, the ace for Chinese Taipei, Roshi Shu, he threw 53 pitches. So you're gonna have to rest for 4 days now. Payoff is upstairs, a 1-out walk.
And that is, Stephen, where you can try to maneuver and think about the future, but the present tells you that's my best option to finish, even just to finish an at-bat or a plate appearance. And before you know it, a couple of foul balls, there goes your plan.
And for those of you listening, like, all right, it's mind-numbing, all these numbers and these rules. They're important. They play into every team's strategy for each game. So you're not necessarily, you know, for example, Dave Roberts with the Dodgers is asked about this all the time in postseason series, right? Oh, he didn't go to his high leverage arm there. Well, because he's trying to weigh that night versus the rest of the series. Same thing in a WBC. You're not giving up on a game. You're not necessarily punting it, but you are not going to trip over yourself to burn your highest leverage arms. If you don't have to, if you can save them perhaps for the next game or a bigger contest, so to speak.
Yeah, there's a balance between managing for today and managing for what you're projecting to be in a couple of days, a couple of months. And it's the thing, if you're planning to be, I mean, if you plan on keeping people healthy too, which is another case, it's a balance you got to keep and stick with it and take the hit and the criticism, understanding that what you're doing is going to be answered, maybe not tomorrow or the next day, but maybe in a couple of months.
On a 1-2, Escala is down swinging. Second strikeout of the frame for Bach.
Scala definitely on pole mode right there.
Younghoon Park actually led the KBO in saves in 2025 with 35. Not a save situation here against Czechia. Still wants to put up a 0. Is retired. Great play by Kim at short. Eight 3 in the middle of the 6th. Jan Novak begins his second World Baseball Classic with a strike. Bottom of the 6th inning. Korea leading Czechia 8-3. Jose Mota, Steven Nelson, terrific crew with you from Tokyo. Pool C. Second game of the day. Australia beat Chinese Taipei 3-0. Samurai Japan, the heavy favorite, come out of this pool. The reigning champions of the World Baseball Classic, winning their 3rd event in 2023. thought going into this tournament was that Chinese Taipei, the #2 ranked team in the world, would take that second spot out of this pool. But Australia had something to say about it. Korea hopes to have something to say about it. Popped up by Do Young Kim, the leadoff batter. Out #1 in the 6th. We began our broadcast tonight referencing Korea in 2023. It was all B-roll of dejection. There's no emotion. It is a totally different story in 2026, Jose. The vibes are 180 degrees different.
And guys have told me even yesterday in practice, hey, the whole environment in the clubhouse is different. New manager, new life. We need just to go out there and keep the balance of the emotions, what happened in the past, to learn from that, but also build up what we have now. And it's a very energetic group, and throughout this game, we've seen it. A lot of communication in the dugout, a lot of talk, a lot of encouragement, a lot of communication between hitters coming back from the batter's box and back to the dugout.
Jahmai Jones skies it, right field side. Preda overran it, but recovered to make the catch. And Jahmai Jones, Shea Whitcomb, Dane Dunning, the 3 foreign-born players on this Korean national team, are getting a lot of credit from the staff and their teammates for creating that environment. They have all said, well, this is what we do back home. We keep it loose.
Yes, keep it loose. Let them learn. Young Ho Lee has been learning more about how the game is played in the United States now with a couple of years, the Giants in San Francisco. But also mentioning Dunning, I mean, already in the short time he's been here, he's being looked at by the other pitchers as another pitching coach.
Him and Hyunjin Ryu.
Yes, well, that's another story. We're talking history in Korea.
Oh yeah. Sprayed to left. Escala makes the call and the catch. That's a 1-2-3 inning. Remains 8-3. Game 2 of Pool C into the 7th inning. Korea on top 8-3.
Let's go back and talk about Papa Vavra this time. As a pitcher for Justin Morneau. And this display of power at Yankee Stadium 2008. It's a derby that, to so many people, if you don't show the trophy, everybody says Josh Hamilton won it.
Yeah, that's everybody certainly remembers Josh Hamilton going off in the Bronx.
That was a display.
But it was Justin Morneau who actually took home the title. Taron Vavra due up 3rd here in the top of the 7th inning. Certainly made his dad proud with a home run derby-like swing back in the 5th inning to make it 6-3 at the time, but Korea got 2 of those runs right back the very next half frame.
And that was a lift and separate type of swing, control separate. As I mentioned, his father Joe is just an outstanding person, #1. Great teacher. As a base running instructor, excellent, so polished. As a hitting instructor himself, very knowledgeable. Has adjusted through the years with new concepts and ways of hitting. And as an infield instructor, brilliant.
Little flare, shallow right center. Backing up from second is Kim. And he makes the play. Young Hyung Jo, the new pitcher for Team Korea, the 5th pitcher, and it's the 7th inning.
Strategy, Steven. Use them. Keep them all under control and under that threshold. And keep them eligible. We're fighting for something they haven't done in a long time. It's hard to believe that Korea has not advanced since 2009.
It really is, Jose. And because of those disappointments, it's caused a change in how this team is being watched in their home country. Now, you think about the history of the Korean national team. I mean, 2006, you beat the U.S., they beat Mexico.
Yes.
They kind of ushered in a rebirth of baseball in Korea. They win gold at the Beijing Olympics in 2008. They go to the title game in the WBC in 2009, lost a heartbreaker to Japan. but you're saying, okay, this nation is here to stay, established as a power. 2013, no. 2017, they hosted pool play, but lost the opener to Israel and didn't make it out of pool play. And same thing in 2023.
And all ties to that, Stephen, is what? The popularity of the KBO and the attendance record being set. It's just one thing that's not gone accordingly. And even the way the team is being built and put together, it was a different philosophy, different mentality.
They changed the reward schedule, or the rewards for these teams. Vavra gets underneath that one, flies out to right center, and Czech goes down in order in the 7th. Let's stretch. All right, enough dogging around. Bottom of the 7th in the Tokyo Dome, 8-3 Korea. 10th pitcher of the night, Lukáš Erkeli. On to left, that's down for a hit. And then Escala has some trouble. Going to second, sliding in safely is on.
We are definitely, Stephen, seeing a different air all around this Korean club. I mean, from the minute of the baseball, even though Escala had a little bit of trouble, takes off like, I'm not stopping. I'm going to make him stop me, but look at this. Breaks it down quickly, keeps eyeing the ball, and there it is.
Amen Bach, a lot of speed, comes off the bench to pinch run for On. They showed those KBO stolen base ranks earlier when Haesung Kim was on base, and only one player had more than Kim in that stretch. And Kim was still playing in his home country, and that man's now on second base in Heyman Park.
Another guy that through the years, through the learning, through the applying, and having managers have allowed him to exploit that part of his game, has taken advantage of it mightily.
And sprays it foul.
And the style of play that for years has been prevalent in the KBO before the big power guys came up. Not sure what happened here.
Young Moon felt something, made him hit the deck. The first inning grand slam. Grounded out in the 3rd, was hit by a pitch in the 5th and scored. Came around on Shea Whitcomb's homer. That was Whitcomb's 2nd home run. Only one set of teammates in WBC history have had multi-home run games in the same game. Look out. Moon, as the tower buzzed. There he is, plunked by a fastball up and in against Kovala earlier. But that one set of teammates, that happened in the 2006 playing of the Classic. Big Poppy, David Ortiz, and Adrian Beltre. A couple members of Cooperstown.
Yeah, proud Dominicans.
That's the company that Moon can join along with Whitcomb.
To this day, one of the most unassuming Hall of Famers is Adrian Beltre. But what a player.
On both sides.
Yes.
On the ground, base hit into right center field. Bach's going to score easily. RBI single from Moon.
Not the
Driven in
most
5.
comfortable at bat for Moon, but boy, the big man has shown up big time with 5 ribbies. Gets on base for the 3rd time tonight. Just a great example of watching spin and know that with spin comes movement. He calculated perfectly into that swing path.
Ball dribbles all the way to the backstop. Another extra base given by Czechia this inning to Korea.
Yeah, this is where Czechia has to stop the bleeding.
That's a wild pitch.
And this is game 1. Yes, it's getting a little out of hand, but still some big games left for them, in which they have to take a different mentality and not let it get out of control now.
2 balls, no strikes on Shea Whitcomb. Struck out in the 1st inning, but homered in both the 3rd and the 5th. Erkele gets a high strike called for him.
Going back to 2023 in the tournament, Stephen, they issued 23 walks in 34 innings. And those are the things we're talking about, how games get out of hand.
Whitcomb lifts one in the air, left center field. Did not get all of this one. It'll stay in the yard. The throw goes over the cutoff man. Tagging from 2nd and going to 3rd is Moon.
He's got a powerful stroke, man, and there's no reason to not believe that that's going to continue to play well. He's made some great passes at the baseball after that first strike in that 1st inning. Impressive.
Runner, Team Korea, number 4, Min
Min-jae Shin pinch running for Moon at 3rd base. Haesung Kim, batter at the plate. (9-3) Korea in the bottom of the 7th. On a 1-1. Erkele misses outside. It's 4-0 Korea after the first, 6-0 by the time the 3rd inning came to a conclusion, but then 6-3 to Vavra home run. Korea has scored the last 3 runs to reclaim that 6-run edge. Him with a hot shot off of Erkele on the mound. Redirects to Vavra at short. And Kim is retired. But the Dodger makes it double digits for Korea. 10-3 is the lead now.
Pretty good at bat there by Haesung. Gets a lefty going up the middle. He knows velocity's not going to beat him. Standing approach. And that ball, after hit the mound, really slowed down.
Ground ball to short. Vavra to his left. Throws across his body on the run, on the money. The crooked number for Korea. Now up by a touchdown. Another pitching change in this game. Korea leading 10-3. Young-Kyu Kim, left-hander, enters. Korea 6 outs away from a win. Chadvenka, Hlup, and Mujic on the docket for Czechia.
So, you know, in your mind as a hitter and actually as a team offensively, this is your first game. You've seen what happened on the pitching side, on the defensive side. But on the offensive side, you need to build off of something. And the fact has been that they found a way to get base runners on. Only one big swing. And you cannot waste these at-bats that are remaining.
Excellent pitch from Kim to get Chervenka. One gone.
And yes, you will punch out. Yes, they will make some good pitches against you. They will beat you, but you got to go out there with a focus that this is a close ball game to carry on the mentality into the next days.
The right side of the defensive alignment for Team Korea totally different. Bach now in center, Lee in right, Shin at second, and Rowe at first. Someone's just waking up and turning on this game, or if they look at the final score, you might think, blowout win, and it's still not over yet. But 10-3, comfortable margin. It's been kind of odd. I mean, they have the same amount of hits, but it's another example of you got to have some slug
firepower
in this game.
Yes, and it started the first inning with a grand slam.
And also, Pavel Hadim and his staff and his team, they're probably going to be thinking about how close they felt at times, turning the tide of the game.
The tide turning has been the issue of just allowing either the extra ouch, opening the door for the opponent, or the free passes, including hit batsmen. Those things right there, Stephen, are issues that you have more control over than where the ball's going to drop. You know, throwing strikes, getting ahead 0-1. Things that you have more control over than just saying, well, pure luck or we hit the ball hard. But you got to go out there and just control the things that are controlled for you on the pitching side. And then on top of that, you throw inexperience, and it plays, and the pressure, and it plays.
Count evens up on Fluke, 2-2. Base is empty, one gone in the eighth. Czechia has 5 outs to get at least 7 runs. Back-to-back punch-outs to begin the eighth for Kim.
Yeah, Kim has shown some filthy stuff. Great deception, hides the ball quite well, but look how nicely he turns it over. That is some serious pronating of those wrists.
Korean pitching staff now has as many strikeouts as the offense has runs, 10. Team Korea will have an off day tomorrow, chance to rest and reset before a big back-to-back on the 7th and 8th. First Samurai Japan and then Chinese Taipei. This game, though, was the must.
they finally found something tonight, Stephen, that they've been searching for the last few World Baseball Classics in early games. It's the ability to slug, put some runs on the board, take pressure off the guys on the mound, and build confidence. Because, as you mentioned, the perception back home, I'll say the last two WBCs has not been well.
It's
even they're talking more about the attitude,
right.
even the things they say in the dugout, that their own home crowd has been critical of.
Oh yeah, and that criticism has been earned, to be clear. Payoff pitch, shattered bat, rolled to third, handled cleanly by Wickham, and a strong throw across. Czechs go down in order. Back in Tokyo, game 2 for Pool C. Korea sitting pretty, up 10-3 on Czechia. To right center field, tracked down by Klug. Tomorrow's doubleheader here at the Dome. Australia and Czechia at noon local, then Japan and Chinese Taipei. Samurai Japan has vengeance on the mind against Taiwan, given what happened in the gold medal game. The 2024 Premier 12 tournament in this building. Chinese Taipei pulling off an historic upset.
Yeah, you talk Australia. Well, it was all Australian pitching earlier today for us. 3 pitchers, 3 left-handed pitchers. Marvelous job with a shutout for manager Dave Nielsen.
Routine fly ball to right field. Prayed underneath it.
A game like this also gives manager Yunhan Ryu a chance to see some younger players get their feet wet, because you just never know.
Bama Hadi making a pitching change. We'll be back in a moment. One Lukash gives way to another. Reason being, to get Erkeli out before he hit 30 pitches.
As what we're saying, you have to have one thing in mind. Do I save pitchers if there's a different rule? And how do I keep guys fresh when I know I'm going to need them here in a couple of days?
Lukash Klo trying to get the final out of the 8th. He's facing Jahmai Jones. Jones hammers a ball to left field. This ball is gone. Another home run for Korea. Jahmai Jones gets in on the fun. And Korea turns this one up to 11.
Big-time athlete. Came up with high expectations. But he has not been any stranger to high OPS in his life, in his career. Love the use of the legs to get the bat hit exactly where it needed to be. That was perfect.
Hang and bang. That's what Jones did. The 4th home run of the game for Korea.
Even off air, we're talking about Korea and what we wanted to see if they're going to have a chance and this is it. Slug.
Shot off the mound and into center field. A knock for Jung-Hoo Lee, his second of the game, on for a third time.
Jung-Hoo Lee, in a long conversation yesterday, Stephen, just talking about what he brings now in his mindset as a big leaguer to a tournament like this, into his national team. He goes, it's so different now. The things that I've learned that I can put in play immediately. You know, he's always hit. He's always been a tremendous player, tremendous hitter, but on base 3 times today. And glad to see him now come back and make the promise to his country that he's going to come back, and here he is producing.
Because Lee got on with the early termination rules in the WBC, a home run from Park would end the game.
We've seen that happen before.
Now Park, not a known home run hitter. He's down swinging. So no walk-off in the 8th inning for Korea, but a solo shot for Jones. Time for the 9th inning. Korea 11, Czechia 3. Young Chun-Yu will try and finish this one off for Team Korea.
And for him, this game's 2-1 right now. Nice try there by Park again. He's been magnificent behind the plate. Oh, how animated he is, and gives a good target.
Matusz Bubenik off the bench for the Czechs, pinch hitting here in the 9th. A leadoff walk. A lot of changes for Korea in the field in this inning too. Yoon-Bin Moon in the game as a center fielder now. Heyman Park goes from center to first base. Shea Whitcomb moving from third to short. And Wool going from first to third. And all that in addition to the new pitcher. My scorecard is ugly.
Looks like March in Florida or Arizona with all these changes.
And now a pinch runner. It's Marek Krejci.
Willie hoping to see something he could drive and put it in a gap somewhere here.
Drives the ball to right, hooking toward the line, and it drops down. Going first to third is Krejcik. Checks on the corners, nobody on the ninth.
Not exactly in the gap, but enough gap between the fielder and the baseball. For a good night for Scala. 2 for 4. It's a great read at first base. And the main thing was what he knew and was knowledge of was where the right fielder was.
How about the team really emptying his bench right now? Jan Pospisil pinch hitting. Pushed in the air to left. Be plenty deep to get the job done. Krejcik home on a sacrifice fly. Now 11-4. And a nice round of applause from the fans here in the Tokyo Dome.
That's nice. Look at the crowd just over the Czechia dugout. All the family members, including Pavel Hrim's son, who recently ran a marathon here in Tokyo. How about that?
There was a late dropout in the race, and Dean, with all the friends that he's made in Japan over the last few years, is able to lead his son in there. And then I said, Pablo, how come you didn't run? And he just tapped his belly a few times. His team now within 7, 1 on, 1 out in the 9th inning.
There he is, along with, on his right, physical therapist. I had a chance to talk to the young man and the young lady today, and they're very proud of what he accomplished, but really proud of what Papa has accomplished here for their country.
Another pinch hitter in the 9th for Czechia, Ryan Johnson for Prokop. And run differential does matter.
Yes, it does.
So you, as long as you have an out, you're scratching and clawing for everything you can get. Johnson down on strikes. And Czechia down to its final out. Chervinka 2 for 4 in this game. Now entering this World Baseball Classic, Czechia had the most number of returning players from the previous tournament. And tonight they are using seemingly all of their players on the roster. 19 of 30 have been used in this opener.
That's great. Game like this, give them a chance. As I say, you just never know later in the tournament how they can come through for you.
Strike 3 swinging, and that's the ball game. Team Korea behind 4 home runs powers its way to a Pool C opening win. 11-4 the final score.
Nicely done, considering that all the deception and all the disappointments they've had coming into this one, and the fact that they had not advanced past the first round since 2009, a well-executed plan, nice rounded also offensive unit, and I think overall they really did a fine job hitting mistakes and knowing that they can put some runs on the board with a long ball.
They'll go into the off day all smiles. They've been all smiles since the team got together for exhibition. Totally different energy surrounding Korea in 2026. They're 1-0 and atop the pool due to run differential. Another doubleheader on tap in Tokyo tomorrow. Australia and Czechia. A quick turnaround for the Czechs. And then at night, Samurai Japan opens its tournament against Chinese Taipei. For Jose Mota and our second to none crew, I'm Stephen Elson. Thanks so much for watching. Let's do it again tomorrow. The 2026 World Baseball Classic.
The Seattle Mariners are the only team in MLB history to never play in the World Series.
Here's a throw to the plate. He meets it.